So I found out a good way to time myself is to start recording when I'm on my way home, because it takes like, I say 10 minutes, but it probably take really 15 minutes for me to get home. And if I talk that long, I'm gonna talk way too much. So I have 2 horror stories to tell you. Well, it's not a horror story, but whatever. It was a horror story at the time. So I'm gonna do it in 2 separate videos, because I'm sure if I do both of them in one video, it'll just be super long. So I guess we're gonna start in the order. Nope, not the order which you're having. I'm gonna start with Arpy first. So I'm on my way home on Tuesday. I had extra time at work, so I had time to catch up on my Bible study lesson that we've been working on and do my journaling and all that. I just had to answer like 3 questions, which I always get there early so I could do that when I got there. So I had to pee. I had to pee bad. So I pull up in the driveway, and I come around. When I come in the driveway, I go around my house and park. So like if somebody is like walking, after I go past my house, I can't see what's on the other side, whatever. So once I pull up and park, I don't even know if I think I was adjusting, like getting my stuff together in the car or something. I saw my grandpa coming out the house carrying Arpy like this, like under her arms. And I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And he was walking fast, and he had like his wallet hanging, like I don't know what he thought he was gonna do with that wallet, because how he had it hanging open, all his money was probably on the ground. So he was like, she was screaming, well, crying. So I was like, what's going on? And he was like, she fell. So I'm thinking she was asleep and she fell out the bed. Okay, my grandma's bed, they just got a new bed like 2-3 years ago. It's super high. So I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I gotta pee. So I go in the house. I was like, I gotta get her, Pampers, pull-ups, all that. She didn't have on shoes, which is fine. I thought about getting shoes, but I didn't end up getting them. And then, what I was about to say? Oh, I had to get her pull-ups. So I went to the bathroom, had her sit down, because she calmed down after she was with me. I cleaned her up. Well, she was already pretty much cleaned up. And put her, after I got the pull-ups and my wallet and all that, I got in the car. Well, I called out urgent care in Troy. I had to call them because they have a pediatrician office, but I've never seen kids in the urgent care part. Like, I go to urgent care all the time, but I never had to take Arpy. And so I called them, and I was like, can I bring a child to urgent care? And she was kind of like, well, are you a patient with us? And I'm like, no. She was like, well, I said, and I think you're gonna have to have stitches. And I already know it, like, if you break your arm, they can't do nothing about it there. They don't even have an x-ray machine. So that's why I asked that first, because I wasn't about to go there and waste my time. So she was like, why don't you just call your regular doctor and see what you should do, because she's gonna have to go to the hospital if she has to get stitches. So I called the doctor, and she was like, yeah, she need to go to the emergency room. Well, nowhere else she can go in Troy. Our emergency room in town is known for killing people. Like, everybody know if you get sent to the hospital, you're gonna die, because they don't know what the heck they doing. Excuse my language. They don't know what they're doing. So we never go there. Like, when Arpy, I ain't told y'all about her NICU story yet, but when Arpy, I had to take her to the hospital that day when her birth weight was like super, super low and her temperature was super, super low. They wanted to take her, because her doctor's office is like right across like a walkway from the hospital. I was like, you're not taking my child over there. We would drive to Montgomery, or y'all can pull an ambulance up here and take her to Montgomery, because she ain't gonna be admitted in here. So the only thing I was worried about was she gonna stay calm enough in the car for me to drive 30 minutes instead of 15 minutes. So after I gave her that Doc McStuffins, I gave her my phone so she could watch Doc McStuffins. I had my blinkers on so I could drive fast. I ain't really even drive fast. I usually drive 70, and I drove 75. So then it was like pouring down raining in like certain patches. So it'll be like Sunday like it is now, and then I can go a mile down the road and it'll be pouring down raining, and I have to like, at one point I had to almost completely stop in the middle of the road. It was raining that hard. So she fell asleep. I didn't want her to fall asleep because of course she fell and probably hit her head. But I was like, well, she's asleep now, ain't nothing I can do about it. Just let her get some rest. So we get to the emergency room. Right before we get there, I called my mama. I'm like, where you at? She was on her way from somewhere. But anyway, she had to come through Montgomery to get home. So I wanted to catch her before she got home. Well, through Montgomery. And so she was like, I'm like an hour away from you. And I was like, okay, well, I'm taking Arby to the hospital. I already knew she was going to have a fit about it. So I was trying to keep it like as calm as possible. So we go, we check in. Let me tell you about this dodo. Well, first I'm gonna tell you about the parking. So I pull in the parking lot and there are literally no parking spaces. I had to park in the across from the emergency room in a different physician's parking lot, and they have a sign that says do not park here if you're waiting for the ER. First of all, if I'm having an emergency, I'm gonna park wherever it's a parking space. I don't care if it's a doctor parking space if it got something to do with my child. So it wasn't no handicap parking spaces open, and it was like 4 rows. Well, 4 rows front and back. All of them was full. And I literally went through every row, came out, turned around, and came back up to park over across in the little other section where I wasn't supposed to be parking. Whatever. So I was like, if they give me a boot, oh well. My child gotta go to the hospital. Cause when I looked at it, I knew she was gonna have to get stitches. So I park, I get out the car, go inside. This dodo bird in front of me. When you go in the hospital, they have scanners, like the body scanners or whatever. It's a sign right beside the body scanner that says no weapons allowed. Tell me why this man walked through the thing, and while he walking through the thing, he pulled a knife out his pocket. He was like, did you park nearby? And is this the only one you got? And he was like, yeah, that's the only one I got. But yeah, we did park for her. So I guess the security guard just ended up holding it for him. But I'm like, sir, you just think you finna walk in here with a knife? Anyway, so he was like holding up the line. He like pushed him to the side and let us go through. So thank God it was nobody actually in the emergency room. So I don't even think we were sitting there 5 minutes before we went to the little triage place. And right after we went to triage, we didn't even go back to the lobby. We went straight to our room. And so we got in there. Arby was calm, whatever. I was scared about putting her on the bed, but because of course she could fall through the little rails, even though I put the rails up. So I turned the TV on so she could watch a cartoon and all that. So after my mama got there, she was happy to see mama, and she was pretty much fine, acting relatively normal. So the lady comes in, she wants to look at her mouth, and Arby don't want to show it to her. So she like barely open her mouth. She like, it's like all this. So she opened her mouth like this. So the lady was like, yeah, she probably gonna have to get 1 stitch. In my mind, I'm thinking, no, that's not gonna work, because that's the good thing long. But I ain't say nothing, because she can see all it, you know. And I showed her like she had like a little bump on her gum. She said that was fine, which that did go away fast. So she was like, yeah, she gonna have to get a stitch, and then she gonna have to be on antibiotics. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So they come in. I was calm. I was like, okay, this fine, whatever. It's gonna go good. They came in and brought the like little, you know how they have like a little surgical tray kind of thing. And when they started stacking that stuff up on that table, I was starting to freak out a little bit. Because they had like 2 bottles of solution. They had I don't know what was in all the packages, but I'm gonna link at the end of the video what like was on the table, because I took a picture of it. Because I was like texting my friend at the same time. I was like, oh my gosh. And so she was finally comes in and she's like, well, normally you have the choice of whether you can stay in the room or you can leave the room, because we're gonna have to hold her down to give her the stitches. So I knew mama was gonna have to leave the room. So I was like, I should tough it out and stay in here with her, right? that boy's stupid. That man, I guess he would, instead of carrying the tire, he rolled it. And he was like, okay with it, but it's a road on the other side. And it was starting to go in the road. He took out running to go catch it. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to tough it out because mama ain't gonna be able to do it. So she was like, do you want to hold her yourself, or do you want me to call somebody else to hold her? I'm like, definitely somebody else gonna have to hold her, because they're gonna wrap her up in the little burrito thing. But Arby is strong. When I tell you Arby is strong. And so thank God they brought a man in, and then they brought a lady nurse. So the lady nurse was like holding her head. She was already hollering as soon as they started putting that blanket on her, because she didn't want to be away from me, because you know they're gonna make you lay down on the bed. And so they wrapping her up in a little burrito. As soon as they finished, her arm came out. They wrapped up again, her arm came out, and they just said forget it. They just held her down the whole time. So the whole time they holding her down, I'm just kind of like rubbing her face right here and holding. I was rubbing her arm and talking to her. So first they give her the shot. She hollering, screaming, and then they had that little stitches thing with the hook on it, and they had a cloth, just like kind of like when you had surgery. They can only have the section open that they're actually working on. So they had a cloth that had the mouth cut out, and the rest of her face was covered. So I know that freaked her out. And then it was like scooting up, so I think she could see when she was putting in the first stitch, like whatever, because the guy told her to move the thing because he thought she could see the needle. And so after that first stitch, she was fine. Like, they put in the other ones, and she was just talking. The man was talking to her about ice cream, and she was like, yeah. And she said, I want my BB, which that's what she got my mama. I want my BB. I want my BB. And I was like, yeah, you want your BB, because you know she gonna get you up out of here. If my mama was in that room, she would not have got stitches. And so the ones she got though are dissolvable stitches. So it's gonna take, she said, 3 to 5 days to dissolve. So after that, she was like done with me. She was like, you done gave me to the wolves and all that. So she went to mama when she came back in the room, and then I let mama take her in the car with her, because I didn't even think about it, but I had to go fill her prescription for her antibiotics. Antibiotics she gotta take 4 times a day. I'm also gonna put in the video of what her lip looked like before, after. One was after the stitches, but it still looked like it's open, but it's actually after the stitches. And then I don't know what other videos I got. I don't think I got no picture of it. I'll try to take a picture of it today. So yeah, I had to go get the I had promised her ice cream. I promised her ice cream, and the nurse had promised her ice cream. So I had to go get ice cream. I had to go get her prescription filled, and then I wanted to go get her some Tylenol and some Motrin to alternate. And then I hadn't eaten since I had ate like 9, because I was starving that day, and I was like, I'm going to Subway. Getting the whole sub, and I ate it like first thing in the morning. I ain't eating nothing the rest of the day. So by that time, it was like almost 8 o'clock. I was starving. It was like, well, I guess it was probably 7. I was starving. So she took Arpa in her car and went to my grandma's house and waited for me to come and finish doing all that. Because I already done called out from work. I wasn't coming, and I was going to stay at home with Arpa that next day. That was on Tuesday night, and Wednesday I stayed with her. So I get home to my grandma's house. Arpa is not there. She at my mama's house. I go in the door. Arpa jump around like nothing never happened. And by the way, she been jumping around like nothing never happened ever since. And she loves taking this medicine. What is it? The antibiotics is strawberry flavor, and then her Tylenol is grape, and then the Motrin is berry flavor. So she just like taking medicine anyway, because she just used to it, because she had to take like the prescription version of Benadryl every day for her eczema, which I need to give her some today. She had to take that every day, so she just kind of used to it. Oh, it took me exactly almost 15 minutes. I ain't even at my house yet. It's 14:40. I'm about to wrap it up. But so that next day we went to go see, I told her we was gonna go see Lion King, because she kept talking about it. She ended up sleeping through the whole freaking movie. I want to do a movie review for y'all too, because I've been going to see too many movies tonight. I'm telling y'all. traumatic experience, and I will share the second one soon. And y'all gonna, it's a budget catastrophe, so y'all should be tuned in for that. All right, bye.